Let's see. Let's see. Did I read this one? I don't remember. I'll read it again. The moment people know, this is set off viral effects. The moment people know you are after something, a vote, a sale, they become resistant. But disguise your sales pitch as a news event, and not only will you bypass the resistance, you can also create a social trend that does the selling for you. To make this work, the event you set up must stand out from all the other events that are covered by the media, yet it cannot stand out too far or it'll seem contrived. An event that is picked up by the news has premature of reality. It is important to give this manufactured event positive associations. Associations that are, say, patriotic or subtly sexual or spiritual, even pleasant and seductive. They take on a life of their own. Who can resist? People essentially persuade themselves to join the crowd without even realizing that the sale has taken place. The feeling of, I think I've already read this one, the feeling of active participation is vital to seduction. No one wants to feel left out of a growing movement. Announce your message as a trend and it will become one. The goal is to create a kind of viral effect in which more and more people become infected with the desire to have whatever you are offering. I'll read tomorrow's, since I'm probably not working tomorrow. Friend to lover. This one starts out by a quote by Soren Kierkegaard. I do not approach her. I merely skirt the periphery of her existence. This is the first web into which she must be spun. This is how I caught my woman. To move from friendship to love can win success without calling attention to itself as a maneuver. First, your friendly conversation with your targets will bring you valuable information about their character, their tastes, their weaknesses, the childhood yearnings that govern their adult behavior. Second, by spending time with your targets, you can make them comfortable with you, believing you are interested only in their thoughts, in their company. They will lower their resistance, dissipating the usual tension between the sexes. Now they are vulnerable. For your friendship, now they are vulnerable for your friendship with them has opened the golden gate to their body and their mind. At this point, any offhand comment, any slight physical contact will spark a different thought, which will catch them off guard. Perhaps there could be something else between you. Offer that feeling as stirred. Once that feeling has stirred, they will wonder why you haven't made a move and will take the initiative themselves, enjoying the illusion that they are in control. There is nothing more effective in seduction than making the seduced think that they are the ones doing the seducing. Daily law. Cultivate a relatively neutral relationship, moving gradually from friend to lover. That's from The Art of Seduction. Create a false sense of security. Approach indirectly. That's how I caught my woman. I didn't do it on purpose. Just how it played out. All right, let's have a taste of coffee. Looks like we're warmed up. Oh, that's strong. Woo! Well, bottoms up. That's how I like it. All right. I had a dream. I woke up from a dream, actually. My alarm woke me up. I was in this house that was being built, and there was just this one guy. And a lot of progress had already been made. And there was like, you could see like the metal, like some exposed metal structures from the interior, and some stuff that had already been like completely finished. You know, it was far from being done, but the amount of progress that had already taken place was pretty impressive. I'm talking to this guy, and he's telling me about, the things that have been done so far and what's going to be done, pretty soon. And he's like climbing way up high, and he's got like this cable system attached to him, so if he does fall from that height, he doesn't hit the ground. It's like a safety system. And he's explaining to me what he's doing and why he's doing it. I'm like, man, this is really cool. Like, you did all this yourself? He's like, yeah. Like, you built this whole thing yourself? He's like, yeah. I'm like, that is amazing. Like, good for you, man. This looks really good. And there was like I guess where I was at, it was like a maybe second floor. And I went over to like like you could look down. It wasn't like a balcony, because it was still inside the house. But there was like a walkway where you could like look over, a very like maybe waist high wall, maybe chest high. You could look down, and you could see like the first floor kind of had an area that was like kind of inside and outside. It's kind of hard to explain. I was checking it all out. I'm like, man, this is very impressive. Then my alarm woke me up. No idea who this guy was. Didn't recognize him. But he was in pants. He had no shirt on, and he had like short hair, maybe like light brown, almost sharp features. I don't know. That's what my mind came up with while I was bored asleep. So yeah, that was it. Thank goodness it was a peaceful night. No crazy activity from the neighbors. Oh, I should have my pills. Yeah, but that last one that I read, that's pretty much the process that me and my woman went through. And I remember thinking too, it was like, how do I explain this? So I was coming out of it was a tail end of a bad situation that wasn't completely cut off yet, legally. But it was done. But legally there was still a connection there. And me and my woman I had pretty much not pushed myself into her life, but I became very intrigued by her the more like we would talk. Because her personality is very different than anybody I'd ever met. She's very straightforward, she's very direct. You could tell there was a very strong level of confidence in her thoughts and opinions. And it was kind of refreshing to talk to somebody like that. That's what was like attractive to me. I know it sounds bad, but it's almost like, well, it makes sense because she was around a lot of guys. She has stepbrothers, she has a brother, and her relationship with her mother isn't the strongest. Let's just put it that way. She had a stronger connection with the male role models in her life. Very much attached to her father, even though she didn't have a lot of time with him. But males in her life have been a strong influence. And you can tell she has more of like a masculine energy to her assertiveness. How about that? To the assertiveness of her character. Like she's like a dude. She's very much not like a dude. But like her mind is very assertive and blunt and straightforward. So all that was very intriguing to me because I'd never met a woman like that before. So that's why I pretty much made her my friend. You're going to be my friend. And I'd always been friends with, I don't know. I don't want to say, actually my very first best friend was a girl. I was really little, now that I think about it. I hadn't really thought about that until right now. Yeah, my first best friend was a girl. She lived across the alley, like behind my childhood home. And we used to play all the time. So that kind of makes sense. Like, it's not like friendship with women is like foreign to me. That's kind of, oh, I knew it. But yeah, I remember when I met my woman and we were kind of just friends. It all moved very quickly, but I remember thinking in my head, like this could totally be the one, easily. I'm like, she's like perfect. But there was something that I had to finish first for that could happen. When all the signs that situation was seriously coming to an end, I was like, oh well, fuck this, I'm out of here. And I threw myself at my woman. Whoa, that looks cool. This motorcycle just passed me, and it's got all this like indirect lighting, like integrated around like where the motor, like where the engine is. It's like green. It's like shining on the ground and around where he grips the handlebars. It's all like lit up green. That's interesting. I've never seen that on a motorcycle. I've seen indirect lighting on cars, but not on a motorcycle. But yeah, anyways, I see how that tactic could work if a guy wanted to use it. That does kind of make sense. Because I guess, especially women who are pretty, they're used to guys coming on to them or like being attracted to them, so they're always going to be on guard with that direct approach. But if you just approach them from a friendship angle, I can see how that would really like throw them off. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean he's not interested in me like that? He just wants to be friends? No, wait, what? And in a way, that would probably make them more intrigued about you. Like, what? Or maybe even start questioning themselves. Like, why? Why hasn't he come on to me? I can see that. And then maybe for some people, it might become a game to see if they could get a guy to show interest. Pretty wild. This is the whole like universe of that movie, like Dangerous Liaisons. It's a pretty old movie, but it has to do with like Renaissance, I think, times. And a lot of what that Art of Seduction book by Robert Greene, a lot of the material sourced in that book comes from like Renaissance type thinking, because seduction and all that was very much an art form back then. And a lot of the people he cites and quotes, I think a lot of it has to do with that time frame. But that's funny. Looking back, that's kind of how it played out with me and my woman, but not like from an intentional standpoint. My mind doesn't think tactically enough for that to happen like that. I mean, I guess it could, but I don't really have that kind of personality. And it feels good in my head. It just said, if I did start to behave that way, that would lead down a road to a bunch of really unfavorable behaviors, I think. And I don't want to turn into that kind of person. That would be like activating the dark side of my soul. And I prefer not to do that. Because I'm a bit of an extremist, and if I were to do that, that would probably spin out of control real quick. What does this say? 2 right lanes closed at Sepulveda Boulevard. Where am I? Where is there Sepulveda? Maybe that's off the 118? There's no Sepulveda Boulevard exit around here. And then with the 118 splits coming up, so I must be giving people going that way a heads up. Oh, that's crazy. Somebody left their little trailer unhitched on the side of the freeway. Their little camper trailer. It was tiny. I guess it must have got a flat tire and they just left it. Oh, it's funny. My buddy at work, I posted a picture of me and one woman because our anniversary had just passed on July 4th. I just put a picture of us and I said, what did I say? Something like 16 years strong. And he'd come up to me. He's like, dang, congratulations. I was like, on what? He's like, 16 years. I was like, oh, you saw the post. Like, that's funny. Yeah. He's like, tell me, okay, how'd you do that? I was like, what do you mean? Like, how did you last 16 years? Like, what is your guys' secret? I'm like, oh, well, she's like, why don't we have 0 issues? Like, we really get along. It's like, yeah, but like, how? Like, I don't know. I told him it's like kind of like a good mixture of things that we're kind of the same on and things that are like different about us just kind of fit together. I think. I don't know. I don't know how to explain that. I enjoy spending time with her. And then I used the phrase, my woman cringed, like, don't call me that. I was like, but she's kind of like my best friend, but like not. Like, we get along like that. Not that she's my best friend, but we get along like that dynamic. My woman's like, don't ever call me that. I don't know what else phrase to use, though. Like perfect soulmate? Say that. I don't know. She is my mate. like puzzle pieces. We are shaped completely different, but we fit together perfectly. How about that? That's the best way to put it. Silly S. The license plate says. Let's have more coffee. This stuff tastes brutally strong. It's just black coffee. Actually, it's not that bad. What does it say? Special event, avoid congestion, use transit. What does that even mean? That's your whole life. Your whole life is a special event. You should treat it that way. I think that's the sad thing about... I think that's an advantage. Let's put it that way. I think that's an advantage of having the event I had with my mind and memory. Is that like it refreshed the specialness of what this experience is. So every day for me is a special event. I think that's a way better way to live rather than... Like, I like not getting used to life. Like, the freshness of it is very special to me. And even though there was kind of like some side effects that are a bit of a hindrance when it comes to memory, that's okay. I think it's better that I don't remember that this is just life. Because the way my mind looks at it is like, man, this is life. This is crazy. That this is even happening. Like, what is this thing? So when I used to get into the car every morning, start these videos, that's the first thing I used to say. Like, I'm back in this thing. Whatever this thing is. And all the words fail. Like experience and whatever all other words people try to use to describe what you wake up to, life, whatever word. They're all clumsy when it comes to defining what this is. I know probably, especially my woman, probably get tired of me saying stuff like that, but it sparks like excitement inside of me every time I think about it. And I think that's a good thing. You should be excited about life. Be excited every morning, like, what the fuck is going to happen today? This is so crazy that I wake up to this every morning. What the hell is all of this? You get so used to your routine and the things you have to do, it keeps you from remembering that this is such an interesting situation you become aware of every morning. I think that's why my memory situation keeps this like that. Because the average person wakes up every morning like with a firm memory of what it is they're waking up to, so it's just the same old thing. But something about what happened to me like disrupted that. So it's like, this is not the same old thing. This is a totally new thing, but today. And I think that's what a lot of what prevents people from further development is falling into that same old thing mentality. Because the same old experience means the same old you, and that just becomes comfortable. And then you don't see any reason to be anything other than the same old you within the same old experience. And then that's just it. That's it until you expire. You're capped out, plateaued, and that's it. So I kind of like that my mind works the way it does now. Even though there's like small little drawbacks, like I may forget a name here and there, or like little memory things. But what do they say? But for every... There's a saying about that. And it kind of plays on the duality, the nature of duality when it comes to like, for every advantage, there's an inverse, like consequence, not consequence, hindrance. I don't know what the words are. But like the advantage that I get from what happened to me, there's also like a little disadvantage, I guess would be the opposite word. And if that disadvantage is just the small memory quirk that I have now, I'll gladly take that quirk. It could be a whole lot worse. But the experience of like erasing your memory is pretty wild. And that's super unique. There only has to be a small percentage of people in the world that have experienced what I've experienced. I wonder what that percentage would be now that I think about that. Now that I said it, that has to be a single digit number. Like, of all the people in the world, how many people have experienced like a complete erasure of their memory? Bunch of men playing in the dirt. That's what I see every time I see this construction site. Bunch of heavy equipment loading up dirt into trucks and stuff. It's like a bunch of guys playing in the sandbox. Oh, darn it, I see. Lanes closed. See what happens. Probably should have got off their watch. I bet my lane is closed. This is not good. Yep. probably should have got off there. Oh, it is. Gives me an opportunity to figure out that other route again. See what happens. Maybe it's just this section. Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, we're good. But going back to that page I read, it just popped into my mind right now. If I were to give advice to guys about capturing a woman that they're interested in, chances are, I would venture to say, chances are that if they're even friends with you, there might already be a chance. There might be a percentage of a chance that it can be something more. So if you have that interest in them, whether or not you think they might have the same interest in you, I would say just say it. I would take the more direct approach. That's what I did, to be honest. I forget what I said, but I told her. And then just leave it at that. Forget my wording. Something like, in another life. I think that's the phrase I used. In another life, we would have been together. I would have. And I just left it at that because I was just didn't know what else was going to happen at that point. But then later things kind of signs came, and I was like, well, fuck this, I'm out of here with my other situation. And then my focus 100% shifted to her. It was a very chaotic time, really. So it's hard for me to remember the whole thing perfectly. Started off a little bumpy, but it's still developing. It's getting there. Right now, things are pretty good. Amen. Thank you for the blessings. In Jesus' name I pray. So let's keep that going. Forward momentum, upward progress. All the things I pray for me and my woman. Me. Oh, good. I thought somebody parked in my spot. Who is this? With your Palisade. From Utah. Huh. The notorious state where Mr. Kirk met his demise. Utah. Let's get a little bit more precise. Let's see here. Hold. And there. Scene. Those aren't bad looking. Those Hyundai Palisades. That's a pretty big vehicle. All right, I've arrived, and that's my 2 cents for the day. All right.